Are we live, Rachel? No. Come on, Adam. BRB. You need your thing plugged in? But it's not.
Oh no!
We should be.
What's up, YouTube Live?
What's happening? What's happening?
This is where the magic happens. Well. Oh, yep. Welcome to our, is this our first live stream from You'll Hear It? We might have done one very early on. Adam's in the zone. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to Adam while he's in the zone, man. He's prepping. He's prepping.
We did that one where you just had your phone.
Oh, that's right. What was that, like back in the dark ages?
Yeah, we were over there in the chair.
Oh my God. How did you let that be released? So we're doing today, is this a live thing? Yeah.
We are officially live.
Okay,
yeah.
so today we want to welcome everybody. Friday afternoon, relax, kick up our, what do you call it?
Heels?
Our feet? Heels. And we're going to record some episodes. So a lot of you, of our listeners and viewers, have been asking about how do we do these every day. So we're going to give away a couple of secrets of the trade. Would you say that? This is not the episode.
The first is trail mix.
This is not trail mix.
No, we're not. We haven't started the episode, YouTubers.
Right. This is just banter.
This is
how
what
natural it
happens.
is.
Yeah, we prep. We
Right. I say
tease.
things, he doesn't listen.
Yeah, I'm usually not paying attention. I'm trying not to pay attention. Andrew, our producer, is usually fiddling with things as we get ready.
But we really try to do this relaxed. We have a little bit of preparation. So what we're going to show you today is like a regular recording session where we'll go through, 3 or 4 episodes?
We'll do 3 episodes today. Yeah.
Why are you restricting us, man?
Well, just time-wise, that feels like a good number. That's
You got
also
somewhere to go?
No,
You
that's
got
all.
another gig? What's up, man?
That's all I could think of.
Okay. But yeah, so we're doing that, and we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to take, first of all, we got a couple surprises for you. We got some surprises. I don't know if you know this, Adam Maness, that you don't even know about it. The only I know about, well, I did. No, I mentioned them to you. Surprises that the great staff here, our producer Andrew, even doesn't know about yet, that are going to be coming soon. We got some giveaways. We got swag. What do you know about this?
I have like a dozen of those things, man.
Oh, you do, but what about this?
I have one on the way.
He has
one
one on the way. We're going to be giving at least one of both away. Is that okay?
T-shirts?
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, we already got 41 people watching this.
Oh
one,
man, that's so beautiful.
Come on now.
So how
42.
can people? Well, we're gonna the first segment of this, the way you can be entered to win a T-shirt and some other swag. We're gonna try to do it several ways, but the way for sure that you can be entered is to join as a You'll Hear It premium member. And today is a perfect day to do it. Did you know why, Adam?
Because today is the last day that you can get in on You'll Hear It Premium at the Charter membership, which is 50% off for as long as you're a member.
Right. It's
Yeah.
very cheap. It's $5.
It's $5.
If you sign up for the year, it's even less. It's like $250 a month or something
Don't
crazy.
give it away. Don't give it away.
Sorry. But yeah, so go sign up now and you can do that. You can do it for the rest of the day. It's until midnight tonight, but now it might be a good time. And then if you're interested in the T-shirt, just put in the comments, what do they put? Like, You'll Hear It Premium T-shirt, ! Something like that, so that we know that they're interested. Because we're going to do a random drawing. See, you don't know what's going on, man.
I've had a lot going on the last couple of days, all right? But I will say this. That's a very good idea. If you want to put your name in the hat, do we have a hat? If we want to put your name in the hat.
We'll do a hat in a little while.
For the drawing, just why don't you just comment T-shirt?
T-shirt. But you got to be, we say you got to be a You'll Hear It premium member?
For the T-shirt?
You don't have to be, but you're gonna get some extra. You're gonna get some extra names in the hat. Is that okay? Oh yeah, that's a nice hat.
We get one of PM's hat
Well,
here.
we're not ready yet. We don't have the names in there yet. So people are gonna put
good.
their names in the comments. Is that cool? if they want the T-shirt, and they get a little bit of priority if they're You'll Hear Premium. We love everybody though.
Oh man, we have some people already chiming in here. Hey, what's up, Paolo from Milan? Hubert
Milano.
from Poland. Someone Dom says I'm already a premium. That's all right, Dom. Just put your T-shirt comment in there.
Yep.
Okay, Mark Andrew says volume up, please. YouTube at 100% speakers.
Come on, Andrew. Yeah, that's why we do this little part at the beginning here. So, how do you get to see the comments? I can't see comments.
Right on the side, man.
What page you on?
Top
what page
chat
you
on the YouTube page.
YouTube.com.
Oh my goodness, that's what we're doing this on, buddy.
Okay, this is a good chance for us to adjust. Now, just so you know, we'll try to get the sound. We will get the sound together. Andrew, our amazing producer, Andrew Kitchen, who may or may not make a surprise appearance today. If you guys want to see Andrew Kitchen, the legend, the face behind the name, and the producer, let us know down in the comments as well. Oh, here, I see it now, because we might be able to arrange that. He's rarely seen on camera, but I don't know why. He's an attractive guy. He's an attractive guy. Maybe a little bit shy. We'll see.
We need to do a Q&A with Andrew at some point.
Yeah. But, yeah, let us know if the sound is sounding better. T-shirt. Okay, good. And please let us know where you are in the world, because we have so much international love for you. You'll Hear It, which is so exciting. Why are you snickering?
Because Brian Fielding asked, "What are you eating?"
Oh,
I mean, you are. So Pete notoriously eats like right up to the second that we press record.
Yeah,
Brian. So yeah, he's got to pack in a lot of calories.
Okay,
these are
sorry
very
about that. Okay,
taxing on his body physically.
Yeah. It's talking to you over 3 episodes is taxing on my body physically, mentally. Man, this is not. It's not that easy.
Exactly what I just said. That shows you how much Pete pays attention as we record these things.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's excited to see Andrew. Look at this.
I know, Andrew. That's a pretty good little likeness of him there.
Actually, with well, he doesn't wear a fedora.
That's right. Premium, yes. Send everything. T-shirt. Okay, so we're definitely going to get. Rachel's going to get on the T-shirts and get those names into the hat, and we'll do that maybe between the first and second episode, something like that. 9 p.m. in Germany. Nice. 4 a.m. Oh, Alaya, our friend in Japan. I'm looking forward to this. Wow, thank you so much for being here. 4 a.m. You're either up late or you're up early. All good either way. Maine, the great state of Maine.
Sharon from Maine. What's up, Sharon?
What do you know about Maine?
Have I been to Maine? I might have had my toe in Maine once or twice.
Ontario, Canada, which I'm starting to really think, Canada is like the better part. Well, there's many better parts of North America. This part, Canada, Mexico, bunch of Caribbean countries. Anyway, I digress. Right.
Okay, so before we start the episode, let's tell our live streaming viewers what is going to happen here. So we're going to record an episode. We're going to record 3 episodes.
Yes.
These episodes are going to be on the podcast. When's the first one, Andrew? Next week, Monday or Tuesday or something? Wednesday. So these 3 episodes will start Wednesday. They'll probably be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, unless there's a huge catastrophe as we record them, which has happened.
It has happened.
Yeah. So listen for these again if you want to on Wednesday, or just plan your week around not listening to them
because you've already heard them.
No,
but what'll be interesting, because a lot of people are asking, do we edit? And we do very little actually editing. So we're going to see if we can even make it through. But you know what? It's going to be warts and everything today. You're going to see how the sausage is made, how the vegan sausage is made here. Hashtag plant-based and hashtag keto.
It's really not that much different than.
Yeah, that's true.
But just briefly though, we're going to do an episode on the whole Katy Perry. I don't know why I said it like that.
Oh yeah.
Katy Perry controversy, the copyright.
Man, do you know about all the? Wait, I don't want to give it away, but do you know about all the connection with St. Louis with that case?
I do know.
I just learned about that a few minutes ago as I last minute prepared for this. But that's going to be fun. Or
that'll be
it'll be something,
some kind of discussion. And then we thought the second one we would do is 7 things not to do at a sound check. We've touched on these before, but I think recently we've had some experiences where we might need to remind some folks.
Right.
7 things.
Is this topical from last night by any chance?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. We're not going to call people out like that.
Woo! There we go. See, we keep it real here.
We do. And then
what does Peter Martin eat? These are almonds, which I only eat here. Did you know that? My home is an almond-free zone because my daughter is very allergic to almonds. These are Whole Foods organic whole almonds, roasted, and salted. I thought they tasted good and salty. Forgot about that.
Heather McCorkle, who I know very well, said, no T-shirt, just send the official OS trail mix, please. Because you know why? Because I was telling her that, I've been trying to shed some extra Atom lately.
You're doing it well.
Well, I'm trying.
You're not half the man you used to be.
But the official OS trail mix is killing me. And so I think Heather's like, well, what is this?
That's not trail. It's like half candy.
I know.
With a few nuts thrown in,
it's
like
mostly M&Ms. But it's hey, Jeff Clapp, what's up,
Heather,
Jeff Clapp?
Okay, wait. So we have two former star podcasters here. We got Jeff Clapp and Heather McCorkle.
That's
both were guest hosts of the show on some of our more popular episodes, I might add. Saad is snacking on Cheetos. Nice, going old school. Peter is keeping a keto. Actually, no.
He's Saad, that's good. Snacking on Cheetos. Peter's keeping it keto.
I like that. That's good. That was good. Clap. Hey, what's up, Dapper? April from North Carolina. Oh, we had a great question. We had a great speak pipe from April just the other day.
That's right.
I don't even think has that aired yet? We don't know. I don't think so. That's coming soon. That was fun. We had some good North Carolina banter going. Joe M. from the great state of Texas. What's going on, Joe? Always good to see you. So, all right. So why don't we?
Well, hold on. Well, so I want to preface though before we start this first episode. So we're going to do the Katy Perry, then we're going to do the sound check, and then the third one we're going to just do an open Q&A from everybody here in YouTube. So if you have a question, go ahead and leave it here in the comments in the chat, and if we don't see it, hopefully maybe Rachel can send us even like a sort of chronological list, because we've been known to miss some questions, so it'd be nice if
especially good ones.
Yeah.
So definitely. Yeah. Oh, and I see a question here already. We're going to talk about this. Have you seen Adam Neely or Rick Beato's take on the case? Yes, we did see. I just watched part of both of those real quick. So we're going to get into that. But I think.
Hey, Janet Aver, what's up, Janet?
Oh, Elia, you say up early. Almonds and dark chocolate wins. The ones in Japan on the train, on the Shinkansen, the high-speed train. I highly recommend that. I know Elia lives in Japan. They're like, they send these little boxes of almonds with dark chocolate that are just perfect. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm thinking of them now. Somebody go grab me a box of those from Japan, please. No. So this is gonna be fun. So we're gonna be giving some T-shirts away. We said that already. We're gonna do a drawing for that because we actually don't have a whole bunch of them. But what else are we doing? The Q&A. We'll do some more Q&A in between the episodes, but definitely put your questions in there. We might have some little prizes. I thought this might be fun. We had some interest in these. What do you know about those?
I know they're all over our computers.
These are honored. If anyone's interested in these, put stickers down there, and we'll try to hook you up. This is
sure.
You'll hear it. Official laptop sticker. Ooh, it's so fun. It's like a carnival here today. And then we just want to remind you, we don't want to beat you over the head with it, but we want to remind you about You'll Hear It Premium because we're kind of excited about it because we've been getting some good feedback. The first video is up, which is Piano He Runs. We're going to do one video each month at the piano, at least, just for You'll Hear It Premium members or all access, any kind of member.
And that'll include probably with every one of those piano episodes, some kind of worksheet with notation, transcription, so that you could see exactly what we're.
Unless people don't want that. We're not going to force it on them.
It's verifiable that people want that a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would like to see that first. Stickers.
Do you want me to share the hundreds of emails?
Okay. All right. So before we get started, Rachel, if you can help us, because I know we're over here over-promising. We don't want to under-deliver on these stickers and T-shirts. Don't let us do too little. Don't let us do too much. Can you hear me? Okay, thanks. She said yes. Rachel may be making a secret appearance also on the show.
She doesn't even know.
She doesn't even know that. Now it's out there. You'll Hear It rocks. Thank you. We've been getting so much You'll Hear It love, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. So should we show them how we do it?
Let's do it. You want to start the show?
Yep.
Let's do it. We're going to do a special intro though for these lives.
Really? Oh, but we got to do the little banter part before. First.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of started by accident one time, but we'll show you. You probably heard that before the actual episode happens. What the way we prepare is it's totally. We've never planned this.
Not once.
Right. You forgot we even do it. Look at you. You're like, what? So we're just, we're going to just, this is how it starts. Hey, Adam.
What's up, Pete?
How come we never have anything witty to say in these little okay, and then sometimes I'll be like, stop, that wasn't any good, right? And then we'll do another one. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Adam.
Is this a live thing?
I think this is a live thing. Yeah.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you.
That D flat there is...
That's like a ringtone, man. Why'd you hit it again? Now it's never going to stop.
I mean, for such a huge piece of junk, the Kranikenbach has amazing sustain.
I mean, it's like, it's all day. Let's see if it'll sustain the whole episode.
I think the soundboard on this thing is made up of old, like, British warships, like wood from old, like, you know what I mean? Like,
this whole place would burn down and it would still be here.
For sure.
So it's good to be here on a big Wednesday. Hump Day. Yes.
It is Hump Day.
Today
you got
is
it right.
Hump Day. Today is Hump Day, yeah.
Day.
And this is fun because we're actually recording the episode while we're live. So big shout out to YouTube Nation. Everybody join us for the live stream. We're having some fun today, and we're projecting ourselves into the next week as we like to do on Wednesday.
Heck yeah.
And today we're kind of going back into some controversial territory, which we don't do often because we usually step in it when we do. Have you noticed that?
Yes, and but I think we do this, to our credit, we do this more than we should.
Yeah.
And we tend to brave into these waters on the regular, I think. And you know, this isn't that controversial because there's an overwhelming opinion on the subject that we're talking about today, and especially amongst people who know about music. And we're talking today about this recent Katy Perry decision about copyright infringement, where Katy Perry recently lost a lawsuit to a Christian rap artist named Flame,
who's from St. Louis.
Is he
I
really?
didn't know that until 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I had no idea. So there's a couple of St. Louis connections.
There's some St. Louis connections. Yeah, he's from St. Louis. I think he lives here. I wasn't familiar with him. His given name is Marcus Gray.
Yeah.
Flame, young guy,
Nice.
Talented, has nominated, if not won, Dove Awards, Grammy Awards. I mean, he's like, you know.
A Dove Award, is that like a Christian?
It's a Christian Grammy Award.
I had
It's
no
really
idea.
big, yeah.
The more you know. Always
The
be
more
learning,
you
ABL.
know. ABL, hashtag it, hashtag it.
So he has this song, Joyful Noise, comes out a few years before Katy Perry's huge hit, Dark Horse, came out, which I think 2013.
2013, and
Yeah.
this was, Flame was 2008, so, you know, quite a bit of time for it to
5
marinate
years,
in the
yeah.
consciousness, possibly. And we should also just say, this is not just, it's Katy Perry, Capitol Records, some other writers, producers.
Right.
It's kind of a, you know, whoever's involved with the copyright, I guess the writing and the dissemination of that copyright. So it's not just, we don't want to pin this all on Katy Perry. Although she seems most likely to be able to afford to pay this, right?
Well, so I mean, the common thread through all these things we're going to talk about today is that the people that are getting sued, it's like mega hits, right? It's like nobody's suing, you know, Joe Schmo, singer-songwriter down the corner for stealing, you know, Pachelbel's Canon a million times. But
I mean, I would be so honored to be like sued for stealing something from like Thelonious Monk or something. Yeah, sue me for that. That's like so like, oh, I sound too much like Monk. My bad.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we owe Herbie Hancock so much money.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I imitated Herbie again. You heard it.
Every time I do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so let's
Isn't it a
check
great
out.
thing that jazz is just so inside baseball and indecipherable. No one could ever sue anybody. They don't. I mean, we're ripping people off all the time. Actually,
Everybody is though, so that's going to be, I think, the overwhelming point of this is that this is just. It's getting ridiculous out here. Okay, so let's just play a little bit of Joyful Noise. This is something that we can do because we're not as big of a podcast as Adam Neely, who, by the way, had a great video on this.
yes. Let's link to that below.
Andrew
for
linked
sure.
to that video for sure.
He's only got 1.9 million views. Come on.
Jealous much?
Yeah.
All right, so here's a little bit of Joyful Noise. Okay, that's all we're doing.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
so
that's all.
but
I
that's
think
all you really need.
that-
You could. We were not even going to play the
in
melody.
terms of what the attorneys presented. This is what it's really about.
Right. So let's hear a little bit of Dark Horse. I'm going to try to find the spot.
Yeah.
I'm capable of anything, and everything.
Okay. A little faster, different key.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny because everybody's calling this an ostinato, which I mean, both in the trial and the videos about this.
Don't get too far from your headphones, by the way. I have more examples.
Okay. Am I bad? I'm ready to
No,
go.
we can put it back on. I'm just saying.
Ostinato, which, you know, I'm so ignorant with my jargon.
Yeah.
There was a lot of jargon apparently being thrown out in this, and Adam Neely uses the word jargon, I think, really correctly, but then he uses a bunch of jargon. To me, this whole thing of like, well, you know what? I'm always thinking of like a bass ostinato.
That's traditionally where a jazz musician would use an ostinato.
Yes.
But it's a correct usage as even a high secondary line that in this case, in the Joyful Noise case, helps develop the beat. In the Dark Horse case, I think it's like less a part of the actual like beat of the song, more of just like a counter melody happening or a texture even.
But apparently they got into a whole thing of playing these parts for the jury. This was in LA like what, a week ago too? I mean, this is very recent.
Very, very recent.
And it was all about, like, for what I always thought, my very limited legal musical mind was, you know, things like you can't copyright a bass line, you can't copyright a groove, and these kind of things.
Chord changes.
You can't copyright chord changes. But what they presented, so it was always about stealing melody and or lyrics, and especially any kind of connection between those. That's when they would get you.
So these were the old Tin Pan Alley copyright laws that were really guiding the industry for years and years and years, decades and decades and decades.
Remember that law firm, Tin Pan Alley and Associates? They defended many of these cases. I do not know if that's true. That would be interesting,
That
though,
is
wouldn't it?
absolutely not true.
That's not true.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
No, but you know what? Like this is a very important point to make that
Truly, that's
as
what
I
we're doing
just
here.
kind of BS my way through this episode. No, that for years and years you could take the chord changes from a song. I mean, we're jazz musicians. We have a million songs over I Got Rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, the blues. Like there's so many that there's a what's that word I'm trying to think of a counterfact.
Counterfact.
You know, of like Donna Lee is Indiana.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah.
all these different kind of
Layering
things.
a different melody
Yeah.
over chord changes in form, basically.
Exactly right.
Which
So-
was certainly stealing a certain amount or borrowing or taking, lifting.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But they presented this. They weren't even trying to say they stole the melody.
No. That's what I'm
But
saying.
they kind of tried to say that this dun 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 is a melody.
Right.
Without actually saying that. They're calling it an ostinato. I'm like, an ostinato is not a melody, but in the original, apparently, that's the most prominent melodic component. But then they're also adding in the sound, like the synth sound. And Adam Neely's thing is like, they don't sound anything like each other. And I'm
They
like, yeah, they kind of do.
I mean, a little bit, but not. It's a very different vibe for me. I think you know what boils down, and the other ones will play. I have another example that we can play, a more famous one even, I think. But it seems like that these like these attorneys probably, I'm guessing, or who are driving this they're trying to like copyright a vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so if the vibe is similar enough for a recorded piece of music, then that is apparently copyright theft, intellectual property theft. And
well, doesn't this kind of go back to the whole Pharrell, Marvin Gaye?
So that's
Robin
my
thing?
that's my.
Because that was is that what we're gonna listen to?
I have it queued up. Yeah. So
because that I gotta say that.
So
was
this
stolen.
was.
But I love Marvin Gaye, so
this is I know. This is a classic example of maybe like getting really, really close to the vibe, if not lifting the vibe completely. This is Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up. Now, we don't even actually have to get into the melodies of this because they're not similar at all. They're not the same
apparently melody. That's not even the legal
That's
the legal barrier anymore.
And
anyway.
then blurred lines.
Everybody get up.
Some background noises, which is a similar.
Marvin-esque a little bit, maybe.
I mean, there's actually
It's not
nothing.
as good though. That's my thing.
Of course, it's not as good.
But how come somebody? Why can't it just be enough to be like, look, Pharrell is not as maybe innovative or creative or interesting as Marvin Gaye and the folks that created that original. So he obviously stole something from it, or he's influenced and maybe he's building off of it. Why can't it just be enough to be like, hey, everybody, go listen to the original, so at least you'll make some money off it? Why does it have to be same thing with this Katy Perry thing? Yeah, maybe she heard it, maybe somebody stole a little bit of it, but we're all taking things. There's nothing that we really own. I think unless you're taking the actual words and the melody, then you're doing a version of them.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I think it's a very gray area, and it's frankly, for lack of a better term, it's a slippery slope here because, like, when the Marvin Gaye Robin Thicke thing happened, I remember saying to someone at the time, like, are we really going to copyright vibe here, or is everybody just like loving Marvin Gaye more than Robin Thicke, which is a natural thing to do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So of course, like, oh yeah, like they ripped off, like they were obviously influenced by Got to Give It Up when they made Blurred Lines, but you know. Are we going to go back and should we really go back in history to like early R&B, early blues, early rock and roll? John Coltrane
from Lester Young.
I mean, does every jazz drummer owe Kenny Clark a check for Walk the Dog? You know what I'm saying? Like for creating a vibe with a walking bass line, and you know,
in jazz, there's just not enough money for anyone to get interested. Partly,
although exactly
occasionally
right.
there is. You talk about blockbuster records, Keith Jarrett, Miles Davis, different artists in jazz that actually have generated enough to warrant that. But I think that there's more of a feeling in jazz of a shared cultural and common language, and there's more generosity in terms of like, don't steal my lick and this kind of thing. I mean, you get a little bit of that, but I don't know of any big lawsuits within jazz. Plus, the juries can't understand it. That's the bottom line. They were able to get the jury, and we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up another St. Louis connection here, a certain Todd Decker, who apparently was sort of the musicologist of note, of record in this case.
Yeah,
he's
on the Flame side of things.
Right. And he's a musicology professor here at Washington University, just blocks from where we are now.
Yeah.
And he apparently was instrumental in convincing, according to Adam Neely, his overuse of musical jargon that they didn't understand. They played him this thing, and then they had this guy who's like supposed to be an expert in this explain to them how it was stolen in words that they didn't really, musical words that the layman didn't understand. This is according to Adam Neely. I wasn't at the trial.
I kind of agree with Adam Neely, actually.
So, I mean, yeah, slippery slope and the blame. I mean, to me, it's just like, everybody go home, make some more music. Like, don't waste your time suing each other about this kind of. There's so much more other music. Does this speak more to just the dearth of ideas and creativity out there now? I mean, dun 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 dun, or dun 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 dun. That's the two versions of this supposedly stolen ostinato.
Yeah,
I'm like, come up with some other notes, or I don't know. Maybe I'm too anti-basic or something.
No, I
don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know whose side I'm on.
I'm not really sure where you're landing on this, bro.
I want to. You know where I'm landing? I want to get a piece of this $2.78 million that was awarded. Can I get a little bit?
I know. Well, that's the thing. So if you're not hip to this, Katy Perry did lose the lawsuit
Yeah.
and had to pay damages of almost.
Didn't have to pay. They've been awarded, but apparently there's going to be a bunch. This is just the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I heard an interview with Mike Kahn, who's a St. Louis attorney, who's the lead attorney on this. Who said he's already told his client Flame, he's like, nothing's being paid now. There's going to be a bunch of injunctions. They are talking about settlements, maybe whatever. But I mean, so the final thing hasn't been said on this. But I mean, I was just thinking about Bruno Mars. He's beloved. He's stolen
thinking the exact how
come nobody's suing him?
How has Sting not sued Bruno Mars? That was like
the Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh my gosh! His whole career is based on Lenny Kravitz too, of like really getting close to some old influences, maybe a little too close to the sun. But I'm better with letting that go. Than I am with the other way, where now everybody's on lockdown. Like, how much can I borrow from this? Because sometimes you know how it is when you're writing or creating something. Sometimes you'll go back to it and be like, holy cow, I think I just wrote We Are the World.
I know. And you didn't go out to do it.
No.
But
it's just in your head, or it's in the zeitgeist or something.
And I think if the melody isn't so similar and you're not using the same word, I mean, that's where really traditionally, and I believe in that, where you get into theft. I mean, like, what are the chances that you're going to come up with that same melody and the same words? Okay, then you're just playing another song.
Yeah.
And so, there's probably a slippery slope, or there's some gray areas in there.
I think so.
But to me, blurred lines, this is some blurred lines.
I think unless it's an obvious plagiarism.
Yeah.
I think vibe and zeitgeist and these things that get in the air of music, I think we got to let it go.
Well, this is
even on these two cases, which I do think were intentionally a little too close to the line.
Yeah.
I still think it's like, come on, you got to let that go.
Well, now apparently this has got to be opening up the floodgates, because you're getting more. It's becoming accepted. The attorneys were even saying, we're not saying they stole the music or the words or anything. They didn't claim any of that. It was the vibe. The ostinato, and then they start. We don't even know what an ostinato is, and we're trained musicians.
Copyright that. Come on, you can't do that. All right.
All right. Well, we are brought to you by Open Studio. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Am I rushing too closely to our little ending here?
No, I mean, you are kind of ripping off 100 other podcasts by having a sponsor at the end.
I know, yeah. But and we're at a brand new home. Please join us there. We're getting so much just love and satisfaction from being there. OpenStudioJazz.com. Same great artists.
same great content, but some new content. Can you tell them about our latest course?
So the cool thing with the new platform that we're on, shout out to Podia, by the way, great platform, is we could add things like quizzes that are integrate seamlessly within the lessons. You can see what lesson you were just on. It kind of gets crossed out at the end.
A sense of completion.
Very much so. And it's so easy to make. It's a lot easier even for us to make the content better. Like we've added stuff like practice routines, things like more play-alongs, more living notation, more transcriptions, more workbooks, more worksheets, things like that. But it's really, really exciting, man.
Yeah, and we've already, from the short time we've been there, just a few weeks, we've already have 2 new courses. So I would encourage people, if you're interested, check out our All Access Pass. We have 2 new courses already.
Have you checked out Edu Ribeiro's new Brazilian jazz drumming course?
Amazing. It's mind blowing.
I'm going to put this out here. That's one of the best drummers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Edu Ribeiro. Yeah, check it out.
Check it out. So that's exciting. And then we have the You'll Hear It Premium, which is kind of jumping off, which is available there. You can go to you'llhearit.com actually and sign up there just for some extras. Really more about like supporting the podcast and becoming a part of that community. We're starting to get some nice commenting and back and forth from You'll Hear It listeners. So if you're deep into it, join us there. If not, join us here. It's all good. Yeah. We love you. YouTube, Apple, Stitcher, keep stitching, all that kind of good stuff. We got anything else?
Just for our people who are live with us right now.
Oh, we're pretending like they're not there until we get to the banter.
If you're listening Wednesday, it's too late. But if you're live with us here on YouTube, stick around. We have 2 more episodes to record after this.
That's right.
If you're listening on Wednesday, come back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I like what you were going with this. Let me try that again. No edits though, Andrew.
We never edit.
If you're listening
edit. Okay.
If you're listening on Wednesday,
you'll hear it. That's how we do it, and then we don't actually hear it, but we're imagining the outro music now. We won't do our bad version of that again, but then that happens. So we will probably have a little edit in there. Can we have a little edit in there, Andrew, at the end? That'll be our only edit, right?
What? The music?
No. Before, when we kind of went back and forth and screwed up the ending, that you'll hear it.
I don't think so, man. We've never done an edit for something so trivial.
Really? Is that true, Andrew? He says yes. I don't know if he means yes we haven't or yes we have. But
I don't know what he means.
Nothing that's small has been added. Okay, good. So that's how we do it.
Validation.
That's how we do it. So that was, the kind of episode. You guys have heard the different things that as we get into it, we don't even know if we agree on it. We still don't know if we agree on it or not. We don't go into this saying like this is what we believe or whatever. We really try to keep it fresh. We do a little bit of homework and background on it.
Well, and actually like when we talk about maybe sometimes we don't even talk about what we're going to do. Like we just kind of have it on some Trello cards or whatever. Yeah. But if we do happen to be at the coffee machine or something and be like, hey, we're going to do this thing, like we'll be very careful to be like, all right, that's enough. Let's save it for the episode.
That's right,
save it for the episode. Like,
that does happen a lot. We'll start bantering. We're like, stop. We only are friends during the show, so we don't spread in.
That's not true. Sometimes we'll also. This has happened.
That's my opinion.
Quite a bit. Oh man,
sorry.
This has happened more and more this year. Where we'll be out like at happy hour or something, and having a good time.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of stop and be like, "Wait, is this real friendly banter, or is this doing a podcast right now?"
Right. That's right.
Because you just get in a rhythm, right? Of just like.
Well, the way it usually comes out, you're usually looking at me like, am I being paid for this? Or is this just hangout time?
Is this part of the job or is it?
Right. Good. All right. So you know what I'd like to do now if we can? Andrew, can you come over and say hello to the good people?
Here, I'm gonna get on my chair here, Andrew.
Yeah. Can we do a little quick? So this is not going to be an episode. This is exclusive for everybody. We're going to do a quick little interview of Andrew. How do you feel about that? Are you going to go produce, Adam? Andrew Kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, I had to tell you how to use the mic. No, I guess you know that.
Just point and shoot.
So, I just wanted to do. He doesn't know. He didn't know he was going to be doing this, but he's usually on the other side. But Andrew is the one who keeps us going for us on so many different levels. You're always seeing us on camera and doing our thing or whatever. But Andrew runs the audio. He runs the video, both for this live stuff, but for what we record. He posts the episodes. He runs the YouTube channel. You do a lot for the You'll Hear It podcast, right?
I do a whole lot. Yeah. it's consumed my life, but in a good way.
Right. He has mentioned that possibly you've had some nightmares with a certain song has come crawling at you in the middle of the night.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions for Andrew? Oh, look, you're getting some love on the thing here. Andrew. They're just like, hi, Andrew. If anybody has any questions before Adam comes back, this would be your time because Andrew does not sit here very often. I hear people talking back there. We got a question here, but it's oh no, this is love it. Whoa. Now it's catching up with me, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew, vintage Katy 95 t-shirt. Dan from Dan. So Dan's definitely a St. Louis guy. So Katy 95. Now, how long was Katy 95 on the air since you actually been alive? Have you figured that out?
They've been on since like '68.
Right. Are they still on now, though?
They're still on.
Oh, they still on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always teasing because I'm like, that's out of. I didn't know they were still on. I'm so out of tune with St. Louis radio. But it's legendary, especially this with the pig and the cigarette and the nose ring. Real rock radio. That's like way ahead of its time with the nose ring.
Yeah.
That's back when pigs with nose rings are not cool like they are now, right? Does he play piano? George wants to know.
Not well.
Not well, but you do play an instrument.
I am mostly a guitarist.
He's mostly a guitarist. That's right. April says, shout out to Andrew. April from North Carolina, I think. Dude, you have an awesome voice, not to mention ultimate patience. She's correct about that. Yep. 2 people want to know if you played an instrument. That's interesting. Okay. Then we got some other various questions. I'll just ask you one thing, Andrew. Is there anything unusual that's happened since we've started the podcast that you think our listeners might want to know? I mean, of the things that we've agreed you're allowed to talk about, anything kind of behind the scenes stuff that we might have forgot about that people might be interested in? I'm putting you on the spot here because we didn't prepare any of this. I know.
Sure, I am on the spot. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like fun facts that would like blow people's minds.
It doesn't have to blow their minds. I mean, this podcast doesn't really blow their mind, but we're trying. But if you have it, though, that'd
I
be good.
learned that we can't use Keith Jarrett songs on our YouTube videos at all.
And it's like the only thing, right, that
That
we've
is
been
the
banned
only
from.
one. Every other, like of all the artists that we've used,
Yeah.
the only one we've run into issues with is Keith Jarrett. And anytime there's like 5 seconds of a Keith Jarrett song, and
Right.
I can't post it.
Yeah. Not only is it like we have to share them whatever money that we're not getting anyway, it's that it actually is banned. It shuts it down, right?
It's blocked worldwide. That's
Right.
that's the error message I get from YouTube. This is blocked worldwide.
Right. And it's not like we've had, playing my songs or whatever, easy for me to authorize that, but it's not like we have a bunch of crap like that. We got Miles Davis. We played all the greats on here. No one's ever been blocked us, right?
No, just Keith Jarrett.
Keith Jarrett, man, the long arm of the law with Keith is serious. Cool. Well, that's fun. Oh, he's got a gig to go to, so we got to go. All right, everybody. Andrew Kitchen, the legend, the legend in the making. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew, for being put on the spot unannounced. Cool. So we got a bunch of questions. And Rachel, are we doing everything correctly here? I do a lot of this yelling to Rachel.
So did you see Rachel put all the questions on the document she shared with us?
Oh, come on. I don't have that, so you can
Yeah, I got it.
one more quick one for Andrew. Is Peter or Adam easier to work with?
Oh.
Yes.
That
was perfect.
Good.
George is like,
answer.
come on, Andrew, the dirt. Cool.
So maybe, because I actually do have to be over there by 3.
Come on, man. Are you
Sorry,
serious?
man.
Let's keep going, man.
Oh, all right.
We got to get these episodes in. Okay.
All right.
He's got apparently another gig. You can be a little late, though.
I can be a little bit late.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
super.
So we're just gonna say we're doing the T-shirt giveaway. We're gonna have to move that along. Rachel, you're gonna help us with that T-shirt giveaway because now I'm nervous.
So Rachel's going to come in between the next 2 episodes. And
Okay.
maybe you guys can do the T-shirt giveaway. You can
Yeah.
interview her for just a minute.
And look, the big thing for folks on the live, because they're not going to hear this, is if you want to do You'll Hear It and lock it in for 50% off, do that today. Go to you'llhearit.com. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that earlier, but go to you'llhearit.com, $5 a month, because that's ending tonight. And you can see all the different benefits you get from that. So what are we doing next?
So now we're going to do 7 things not to do at Soundcheck.
This is fun. And you're about to go to a sound check, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, so this will be fun.
I'm going to keep this in mind. We don't
Okay.
actually have this. Maybe, you know what? And we do this sometimes. Like, we don't have a list of 7 prepared at all.
I did, actually.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, but he
You
hasn't
haven't-
seen it.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We keep this little thing in what we call a Trello with the thing. And then normally this is the time when we're either putting something in or we'll turn to each other and be like, let's just freeball it. Can we do that?
Sure. So we'll just do.
I'm going to see what I put up. You know what it is? I got enough in there. You can throw some in. We always hit kind of with the 7, and then we'll sort of add them in as we go. I got 5 in there.
As you can see, this is very, very well thought out, as you would imagine a daily podcast would be.
Yeah. So that's our prep. Okay, so here we're going to go. Ready? Hey, Adam.
What's up?
You have a sound check soon?
I do in about 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you think of some things not to do before you get there? Because that's what we're talking about today, buddy.
Let's do it.
3.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast and a D flat.
Yeah, a sonorous D flat, a sonorous.
I'm digging the live theme. That's fun, man.
Yeah,
it's
that's
kinda
kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think hopefully Adam will have edited that out for the actual theme, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Wow, what are we talking about today, sir?
Today,
so
we're
topical.
We're talking about. I'm about to go to a sound check, and we're talking about 7 things not to do at a sound check.
Right, and we did not set this up as kind of instructional for you for what you're about to do, but you can take it that way because you're about to go to a sound check.
Yeah. I was at a sound check last night that took a little bit longer than I believe it should have.
Right, because we had a meeting that you were late to because of your sound check that went over, which could end up being one of our things not to do, and that is to.
Yeah.
I have the feeling it wasn't you
Now,
that extended that sound check.
It was not, but now the universe is coming around because I have a sound check that I'm definitely going to be late to today.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
have to demonstrate, just as the great Christian McBride does in his wonderful course on Open Studio, he does a lot of demonstrating of what not to do, and the students have gotten a lot out of that, so there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, so let's go with number 1. Number
Okay.
1 thing not to do at a sound check.
Rehearse.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Now, this might seem like people might be like, what do you mean? That's the time to rehearse. Well, it's not actually a sound check then. I'm a big stickler about this because you can have a rehearsal or a sound check, or it's possible to do both of them together, but that needs to be announced, I think, in advance, or it needs to be organized in advance, because a sound check, you're being a little bit disrespectful to the sound engineers and really to each other. You're supposed to be acclimating to the room.
Yep.
Checking the sound engineer, and it depends on how big the crew is,
Yep.
or if you're doing the sound yourself, front of house, monitors, whatever, big festival, small club, whatever. But it's a chance to get acclimated with, sometimes with just your instrument. Like for us as pianists, sometimes it's the only time we have to really be in there. But when you try to layer in a rehearsal on top of that, like
Yeah.
I hate it when people are bringing in like complicated, hey, let's go over this real quick.
That-
Call a separate rehearsal.
I super agree. Now, I will say that if like the one I'm about to go to today is a one-off kind of gig, right? Where it's like we've already had one rehearsal, but I am going to assume that we are going to run through some stuff significantly again, right? So depending on the situation. Now, if I'm in a regular band where we're playing together all the time and the leader tries to like pull an hour rehearsal on a sound check when we all know all the music or whatever, I'm just gonna
that's
be
the
like,
worst.
this is not happening.
That's the worst.
You know?
Well, no, death and destruction and many other things.
Or like you
are
said,
worse,
if it's a one-off and the leader's like, yeah, we don't need a rehearsal, we'll just kind of run everything at sound check, and then sound check turns into 2 hours, I'm also pissed.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, and it's just that you can do. I think sometimes what's been successful is to say we're going to rehearse for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to do the sound check, for 20 minutes after that. And you can be a little bit loose. We're not trying to be so dogmatic, but there's sort of a delineation because it's very hard to rehearse, especially with certain sound engineers, the way they like to work, because they want to maybe, depending on the environment, they might be like, can you play something soft or slow? But you're like, no, we're rehearsing this. There's that tension then back and forth where they can work quicker if you give them that concentrated time of playing in a way that they can get I mean, look, the whole point is to get a good sound on you for the audience. Like that's the goal of the sound check. It's not for you to be able to get, you're getting comfortable with the sound too, but that again, for depending on the instrument you play, you might need some time doing that on your own. Not everybody rehearsing what the leader thinks needs to be done then.
Agreed. All right,
Okay.
so number 2 I think is really, really important.
Yeah.
And that is show up late.
Wait, really? I'm surprised that you're saying this.
So a lot of these I'm noticing are things about time, right?
Yeah.
This is something that is just this drives me crazy.
Yeah.
My dad is one of those dads who is like, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late, right?
Right.
So and that has turned me into one of those kind of dads too.
Right.
So it does drive me nuts because it's like you're being disrespectful of everybody's time. So and a lot of these on this list are about time because you got a gig coming up. Sometimes you got 2 or 3 sets.
Yeah.
You got a long night ahead of you
Yeah.
of playing music. Like let's not waste our time before the job starts.
Yeah, the energy that you need to be at your instrument playing, I think, should be the minimal amount. I know a bunch of artists that just hate and refuse to do sound checks.
Totally.
And I think part of it is because, especially if you layer in travel the same day and whatever else you're in another environment, sound check is just a time to sap your energy.
Totally.
Then that you really want to be reserving for the gig.
Yeah.
That's the time, like you want to have your energy, your mental energy, your physical energy, everything But it's like, how do you accommodate everybody and at least minimize as much as possible? And if people are showing up late and then coming in and then trying to set up their gear while you're already sound checking, that's probably one of the easiest things to kind of kill the vibe.
It's a drag.
Yeah.
I just added number 3 here, and
Okay.
I know you're going to appreciate it, so why don't you go ahead and
Play long solos. Exactly. I mean, this is not a gig. It is sound check. Hit it and quit it.
We all
get
know
in,
that.
get out.
We all know that player that gets
Yeah.
in the sound check and blows for 5 minutes over the blues head, and it's like, buddy,
Right.
come on.
Well, this segues really well right into number 4. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Which is make it all about you. Do not
that's-
make it all about you.
It's hard for me because that's just my natural MO.
Because it's all about Adam and it's
Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes.
No, but this is about like not only playing long solos, but don't make it all about you in that this is not your I mean, unless you're on a solo piano gig, this is not your personal sound check. This is a time for everybody to get acclimated on stage. And I think sometimes vocalists are and pianists too, and could be anybody, drummers actually, I'm thinking, but will become like, oh, I'm more important, so I need to spend more time working on my instrument. Now, I kind of understand that with vocalists because their instrument is themselves. So I understand it's so personal. Like you're trying to get a sound of your instrument, which is your voice, which is your actual body. And so it can be very frustrating if you don't have the time to really feel like confident that you're sounding good from the monitors in the house and all that.
The vocalist, I think, a sound check is most important to the vocalist. And I
Yeah.
think instrumentalists in the band need to respect that.
Yeah.
And like need to defer for time to the vocalist and to stage volume and a bunch of other things.
Okay,
I
you're
know,
right.
I
I
know.
hate to admit it. Okay,
Okay.
but also it's also talking about the get used to the instrument. The vocalist doesn't have to get used to their own instrument because they're bringing it with them. But like so for pianists, we need to get used to the piano, but we shouldn't monopolize and make it about us. Like come early.
Yeah.
And like I'm always doing that and like playing or stay after.
Again, respect other people's time.
Yeah, because now you're checking the sound. It's not the time for you to just go. Drummers are bad about this, like setting up their stuff and like, give me this and give me that and all that. No.
So number 5 here is one that drives me crazy. That's monopolize the monitor or front of the house engineer.
Yeah.
So my lovely wife Heather has been a lifelong worker in restaurants.
Right.
And
Does she monopolize the front of house engineer on her
No.
job? No.
But
Good.
there's something that is discussed amongst servers and,
Yeah.
and restaurant workers that customers often do, which is called one-timing, I think is what it's called. And it's when I come and I bring you the menu and I say, do you need anything? You're like, no. And then I come back, I take your order, and then I leave, and then you flag me down. You say, can I get a water? And then I bring you the water, and you're like, oh, and can I get an iced tea? And then I go and I bring you the iced tea. You're like, come to think of it, can we get a Coke too?
Yeah.
And it's just every time you come back, there's
Right.
what could have been consolidated into
Right.
a request for drinks
Yep.
has turned into a bunch of one-timers, and now the server's in the weeds with 3 other tables, right?
Right.
So this happens, I notice a lot at sound checks, where there's usually a protocol of, we'll start with getting sounds from the drums, and then maybe the bass or guitar, and then the keys, and then the vocals. And if like the bass player is constantly flagging down the sound engineer when it's not kind of their turn to do, I mean, you want to get it right for sure, but you'll have your time.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's no reason if they're working on the drums to be like, hey, can I get more piano on my monitor right now? Because now you've just like taken, the attention of the monitor engineer off of what they're supposed to be doing,
Right.
and onto you. So
Yeah, and I mean, thinking about this one in particular, but everything on the list, like this could also be 7 things not to do as a human.
Sure.
It's not just I mean, like a lot of just sort of etiquettes as a person. Don't be selfish. That's what this one really is about. And when you're monopolizing anybody's time, like, well, we always come back to the like, think about the whole, like how everything's supposed to sound. So like we can make it so personal, like I want my piano to sound good. No, we want the whole thing to sound good. Sometimes that means that the piano's going to be a little bit more in the background because it's not a great sounding instrument or whatever. It's not about you. If you go into it with that kind of attitude, I think that the world will reward you actually with a lot being about you. But more importantly, the whole being so much bigger than the sum of those parts. You'll get to be part of something that's so exciting and edifying for you and for the audience and for the engineers. And, I was thinking about a bunch of other
this
ones we
leads
could
us
put on
right
here.
to number 6, which is don't bring a bad vibe to the gig because of your needs.
Exactly.
I'm about
Needy.
to go do that. I might do that. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be late. I'm breaking all these rules. I'm going to be late. I'm going to come in and I'm going to be like, oh, it's time to check the piano or what? I'm kidding.
Right. I just added a bonus, by the way, that I think you're going to
that's good.
Yeah.
But, like Soundcheck can be a very stressful time.
Yes,
People
especially
can
when you're
be-
violating all of these things.
People can be totally.
Yeah.
People can be real a-holes. I almost went
Yeah.
I almost
Whoa.
went full giant steps, Andrew. People can be real a-holes to the sound engineer and to each other at
Yeah.
Soundcheck. So I think I'm always try to be hyper aware of my attitude at Soundcheck to be positive
Yeah.
and really try to not let it get to me, even though these obviously get under my skin.
Well, and the thing about it is too, is sound check. Yeah, it's to, like we were saying at the beginning, is to check the sound, to really acclimate all that. But it's really your first or kind of primary opportunity until you get on stage for the actual gig to set the tone for the interaction of the humans that are going to be. It's almost like, that's why I think sometimes it's easier to skip the sound check if you know everyone's going to really, like, you have to trust everybody. For
sure.
Because everyone has to be able to adapt very quickly. And the main time I've done the skipping sound checks is at these festival gigs.
Yeah.
We just did it in Newport last weekend because it's like band after band. There's no time to sound. There's no opportunity to sound check. The audience is there.
Yeah. It's just
So
whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to get out there and take all these into consideration even more because you are still actually sound checking on the first couple minutes of the first tune.
Yeah.
That's the reality. You're making these adjustments. You're communicating with a monitor engineer and all these kind of things. So everything is accelerated, but you have to, I think, be even more cognizant of the human element and not monopolizing and not, because everyone's having to do that. And that can turn an okay vibe into a bad vibe very quickly.
Totally agree.
Slippery slope.
All right, we do have a bonus today, but first let's get number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7 is really, this is an important one, I think. And
Yeah.
that's not, you don't want to make your monitor way louder than everybody else.
Right.
Don't start a loud war on stage. Be aware of the overall stage volume that's around you.
Wow, it almost seems like
I'm
this could
pretty much talking to bass players.
this could almost, and some singers. I mean, this could almost like working with number 4 about don't make it all about you.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, this whole list could have been number 4.
Yeah, exactly. The monitor is not your personal, especially playing jazz. Now, I've been on a couple of kind of like popish sort of gigs where everyone's just physically more separated. You're kind of in your own world, and you can kind of control the monitors. You I don't really like playing like that. It's so isolating. But I mean, there you have more, or if you have in-ear headphones, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is like, your monitor is not like unidirectional just to you and nobody else hears it. And in fact, what other people are hearing from your monitor when you have it up loud is not good quality because it's coming from a different direction. It's not the way it's intended to be. So you want to really think about an edifying experience for everybody on stage, not just you. It's not about you.
Totally. All right.
Yeah.
So before we get to our bonus,
Yes.
we are brought to you by Open Studio. That's our lovely sponsor.
Open Studio.
That's right.
That was
And
better the other day.
go to openstudiojazz.com to check out our brand new lightning fast platform with all our great courses.
Bam, it just
all our
loaded.
great
It was so
features, quizzes, practice routines, transcriptions, living notation,
Artists.
Peter Martin's personal phone number. Everything's there.
Yeah, it's all
We
there.
Really get
The
it.
All Access Pass is cool because we have a new feature that
Which is?
we just dropped or about to drop. No, it's already dropped by now. The monthly improv lesson of which you did it. This is going to be from an Open Studio teacher, our artist as you are. Every month we're going to feature a new kind of idea that I think the whole All Access Pass community can kind of rally around and practice. And
I love it, man.
yeah,
I love it.
so that's going to be fun. Check that out. All the courses. What else we
Okay,
got?
so what's our bonus?
Oh, the bonus. Yeah. Okay, this is really important for something. We always get these double negatives. We're so negative here. 7 things not to do at a sound check, so I got to phrase it right. Don't treat the crew like crap.
Totally.
Okay? Don't even think about them as a crew in the sense of support crew and things like this. Treat them as your equals because they are. It's not above you, actually. Because
You're all making the show happen.
you're all making the show happen, and like as musicians, it's so easy for us to think because we're on stage and the spotlight is on us.
Yeah.
But just like this podcast is here with Andrew, our producer, it's like you don't see him on camera, but he has an outsized ability for the actual success of how this sounds, how it's given to people and stuff. So we want to go in with an attitude of camaraderie with the crew, and you don't go in there and step over them because they can make you sound bad.
I was gonna
you
say,
can't really make them sound
This
bad.
is just practical advice. Like
Exactly.
I'm always amazed at people who berate sound engineers.
okay.
People who
They don't usually sound very good themselves, though. Have you noticed that?
I know. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
like, make me sound good.
very. Yeah,
Can't
well,
polish a turd.
I don't have a non-suck button here, buddy. But like you're yelling at the guy who's gonna make you or break you tonight.
Exactly.
So just like I bring
If
them
you
cookies.
treat them, if you treat them like crap, you could actually sound really good, and they could just make you not heard.
If I could afford it, I would bring a brand new pair of black cargo shorts and black Doc Marten boots to every gig I was on, just for the
Are
sound
you
engineer.
implying the sound engineers might want to wear that kind of attire? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even hiding it. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
Till tomorrow.
you'll hear it.
Bam. Now that's no edits.
Come on,
That's how
look
we
at
do
that.
it.
Straight
Bam.
through.
Bam. Worthless information,
Yeah.
no edits. No, that was kind of useful.
Hey,
actually.
let's do.
Where are you
for-
going?
Well, I'll run to the gun here, but we have our raffle
Yeah.
for the T-shirts and the stickers. Rachel is going to come and
Rachel,
join you.
Rachel Morgan. Some of you may know of the wonderful, beautiful, talented Rachel Morgan, who is going to show up here. What's up, Rachel? If you guys really want to get on the swag, wow, I recognize this hat. The swag vibe. You should get to know Rachel Morgan because she holds the keys to the swag. Here, I'm gonna let you do this. Welcome to You'll Hear It Nation. Everybody, welcome Rachel Morgan, who's right here from right here in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'll just kind of model with. Okay, we've got this.
Yes.
Is this gonna be one of the available items?
Yes. One lucky winner. will
One lucky
win-
winner.
Yeah, so you will hear it shirt.
You'll hear it shirt. They even add. I'm the only one in the office that has one, so they'll be number 2.
Yeah.
And any size they want, right?
Yeah,
Like they
it'll
get
be
to
in your
choose the size.
Yeah.
Color? Maybe we don't know. We'll see
we'll
about
see.
that. Okay, so
They
how are we
like
gonna do this?
So I've entered all 11 names into a randomizer.
Okay.
We're not really using the old-fashioned.
Oh, this is a prop.
process.
Prop. Okay, I'll
It's a
hold
prop.
it and pretend
Yeah,
like. Okay.
Okay, we've got 11 people.
All right.
Let's
11
see.
people.
Okay, the winner is Daniel McCann.
Daniel McCann.
Daniel McCann.
Step on up here. No, virtually step up. Are you still with
Step
us?
up in the
Dan?
chat.
Oh, okay, awesome. So
Step up.
he's getting a T-shirt. He or she. Hey, Rachel. Oh no, that's somebody else.
No.
So should they send you an email? What are we doing? They'll just.
Well, I found them in our system, in our Open Studio
Oh.
ecosystem.
So we're
because
just
I had
gonna
to
send
check
it to 'em.
everyone.
All right, so we'll be in touch with that on size and all that. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Awesome.
Are we gonna do another one?
Should we?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, let's do one more.
I'm calling it audible. We're going. We're going
Drum
2
roll?
T-shirts. That was bad.
Okay.
Okay.
This is April from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Now this seems like a setup because she's kind of a friend of the
was random.
podcast.
It was random.
But that was random. But I'm really excited because I love April and I love
Cool.
North Carolina, and so that's good. So April, we know
There's
how to
2
find
winners.
you. So we got 2 T-shirts coming. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I did tell people, some people were interested in stickers, so we're gonna have to do one more for the stickers.
One more for a sticker. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This doesn't need a drum roll.
Okay.
This is Aaron S.
Aaron S.
Aaron
All
S.
right.
Awesome.
Stickers coming at you if you
Awesome.
want them.
Stickers.
Okay, good. Awesome. Do you have any fun facts about the You'll Hear It podcast or Open Studio you want to
Fun
share
facts?
before Adam comes back? Or
Is Adam
unusual
coming
things
back?
behind the scenes? I'm putting you on the spot like I did Andrew.
Let's see. Well, we go out to have drinks every once in a while. That's a fun.
We might be
fun
doing
facts?
that today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a fun fact. The
'Cause we're
whole
a
You'll
team.
Hear It Open Studios team. That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody's of
We're a team.
age, just so we know.
Yeah.
In all countries, so we're all good there.
in
All right, cool.
countries.
Well, thank you,
Should we
Rachel.
do some questions?
Oh, should we do those now, or we do that when Adam comes back?
Is
What
he
are we
coming
doing?
back?
Huh?
Is he coming back?
He better be. We got another episode still to do.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna do the questions as the episode, right? Adam Maness, are we gonna do this last episode now? Otherwise, I'm hiring Rachel to take your spot, man, which is good. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel Morgan, y'all. We gave away some stickers and 2 T-shirts, including the one you don't have. I'm sorry, everybody. We're really overwhelmed with. We weren't able to keep up with all the comments. Next time we'll kind of know.
You know who's on here?
Who's that?
Dan Martin's on here.
Dan Martin.
Aren't you on vacation, Dan?
Dan's supposed to be on vacation. Dan Martin, co-founder of Open Studio, is on his first ever vacation in 4 years. I don't know if you. No, I'm serious.
I know.
He has literally not left the. It's amazing that the site has not crashed down. He's in Israel right now.
It's really the biggest compliment our team has ever had is that Dan went on a vacation.
Yeah, he was convinced that it was. I mean, knock on wood, he's not back yet.
I
But
was gonna say, don't.
what do you think of South Carolina? Yeah, I like South Carolina. Because of my North Carolina stuff. What am I talking about? I hate South Carolina, of course.
So check your email for the You'll Hear It Live document. Rachel has been so kind as to, in order, put all the comments.
I don't check email, man. I'm a millennial. Come on, man. Text it to me, buddy.
I can't.
Oh, no, she put it on Slack too, I think.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on.
Cool. Come on. Okay, so are you trying to push us in because you got a sound check?
I got a
I'm
sound
gonna write
check
you a
in
note.
1 minute.
I'm gonna write you a note. Okay, so Thank you. Do we need to do anything else, or are we going to go right out after this? So we're going to do the final episode here. We're going to answer
Which is Q&A, just a regular old Q&A. We're going to answer your questions. So put your question in. We'll try to get to as many as we can. I might even split.
No, that's not happening. Okay, so let's go right into it. Let me just pull this up here. What is this in podcast? We're so advanced here, and you guys are wondering how we're able to keep this together.
No, they're not wondering.
No. Okay, so this is the one with the first questions from Jesse. Is that right? And then Potato in Despair. Yeah. Okay, we got him.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
My computer just dies every time I open it.
Oh, come on, Adam. We're gonna do a Kickstarter for a new computer for Adamson here. All right, so let's start it off. We ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Adam.
What's up?
Do you like questions?
I like answers more.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, let's do a little question and answer. Question, answer. QA. Bam.
3. I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you here. It's Friday.
Jazz advice and a D flat that just won't quit.
And this thing has been ringing all week. We're excited to be here because this is our final episode on our first ever YouTube Live. You missed it if you're listening to the podcast, but if you're with us now, that's great. And we're going to do some more if people like it. People seem to like it, right?
I think they're digging it, yeah.
Future podcast listeners are like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Mind blown. But that's okay.
All right, let's get right to the question. So we've been doing this YouTube
Wait,
Live.
let's just talk about why we're getting right. Why are we rushing so much? Why don't you let the people know?
I'm good.
Okay. Let's just relax and chill. A little chill time. No, Adam actually has somewhere to go. So we're going to deliver great content quickly. We got to do this with no edits. That's a little bit
key.
of okay.
But that's a given.
What are we talking about?
No, we don't have
today,
to rush through anything. I'm
okay,
good to go. I'm good to go.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about cute questions and answers.
Oh, that's right.
So we've been on YouTube Live all day recording these. If you're listening to this on the podcast, this is next Friday.
Yep.
But we the week before had a YouTube Live that you missed probably.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Your
already.
bad.
Okay.
But we took questions all day in the YouTube chat section, and so we're going to do our best to answer as many of these as honestly as we can. And let's start right with the first one from Jesse Reeks. What's each of your favorite impression to do of a jazz community member? I know yours.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's so.
This is the legend, my friend, and someone I look up to a lot, the wonderful Lou Donaldson.
Yeah.
And have we ever done this? Have I ever done this in an actual episode where I'm so like I look up to him so much I'm a little afraid to do. I do it a lot off camera.
Andrew, has he ever done this? Yeah.
I've done it.
Andrew's like, oh,
Andrew.
yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
what you know about bebop or the blues? I ain't never heard you play either one of them. I mean, Lou Donaldson is such a legend. I hate it. Sounds like I'm mocking him.
No,
but
it's all
a lot
love.
of love.
It's
yeah.
all love, yeah.
But he's one of the wittiest. We should do an all-star witty. Oh, maybe we did it. I think we did do it. Oh, yeah. I can't remember. You think I can't remember because I'm old. I've been playing rings around you since you was a little boy, though. But Lou says all these great things. If you ever get a chance, I mean, he does it on stage. He's older now, but he's as witty and as sharp as he's ever been, even more so. A lifetime of just musical knowledge. I mean, he's a genius with the saxophone, which is easy to forget because he's so funny and he's so witty.
Alligator Boogaloo.
Yeah, I mean, he said a bunch of stuff. One of them was, I remember he was talking about a certain young saxophonist that I won't mention their name because they're actually really good. He loves cracking on great people, Betty Carter, Cecil Taylor, But he was talking about this young saxophone player. He's like, yeah, I heard such and such down at the Vanguard. I told Lorraine it sounded pretty good, but if you really want to make some money, I mean, it was packed in there. But I said, let people in for free, lock the door, and then as soon as he plays, make them pay to get out. That's like classic Lou Donaldson, So I love Lou, and that's my favorite impression.
I have a visual one, which isn't great for our audio listeners, but for the YouTube folks,
I'll describe it.
It's my Brad Mehldau.
Oh, so serious and introspective.
I just get a little.
Adam's getting the vibe going. Let me describe what's going on right now.
I turn my head and then I close my eyes. Yeah. I pout my lips a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is also out of love because when he does that, I get amped up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like Brad Mehldau, if you were to take away the sound of what he's playing, he would have this pompous look of self-importance and self-adulation that would be so off-putting. But when you hear the beautiful sounds coming out of the piano, it matches so beautifully that it's all good, right?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. It's part of the show for me.
Part of the show.
Okay, so next is from Paolo, and Paolo asks, question for Peter and Adam.
Wait, what, you skipping one?
Oh, wait, no, I did. From Potato in Despair, which is a great username. What are your favorite What are your favorite genres of ice cream?
Ooh.
Now, that's an interesting question. It's not flavors. They ask genres.
A genre, yeah. Well, I feel like they're trying to kind of cross-pollinate into jazz and music, which I appreciate, which will enable us to have authority when we talk about this, right?
I mean, if I'm not talking flavor and I'm talking genre of ice cream, I'm going all day long. Ted Drew's frozen custard, concrete.
Not an ice cream though, and not a genre.
I would put it in the ice cream
It's
genre.
a frozen custard. You said it yourself.
It's ice cream with eggs, but it is delicious. It is a genre unto itself.
And which one did you say? Chocolate chip concrete?
I mean, for flavor, it's Oreo all day.
Oh, Oreo's good.
All
Yeah,
day, every
the
day.
peanut butter, the Reese's is. I mean, we grew up on that stuff, which explains a lot of our.
None of that. It's the Oreo.
Okay.
All day,
wow,
every day.
so dogmatic, so dogmatic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they did ask each of us. So, I'm kind of obsessed right now with the salty caramel or caramel, depending on where you're from. At Jenny's. Are you familiar with Jenny's?
I do enjoy some.
Andrew,
Jenny's,
do you know about Jenny's? You do like sugar, I've noticed. So you might want to get with Jenny's. It's in the West. Well, it's from Columbus, Ohio, and I guess it's a chain, but it's incredible. They have it here on Euclid in the Central West End, and Jenny's salty caramel, obsessed. Totally overpriced and over deliver. Okay. Can we move on to the next question?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. This is from Paolo,
Rachel's
which
phone.
I believe is Italian for Peter. No, it's Italian for Paul.
Rachel Morgan left her phone in the pod cave. by the way.
Ooh, let's see what kind of text message. It's Friday. She might be getting some, "What up, girl? What you doing tonight?" Okay. Anyway, Paolo says, question for Peter and Adam. How do you move from good non-pro jazz pianist to decent pro?
I think you have to watch a lot of TV and go for some long walks.
Go for some long walks on the beach,
Yeah.
preferably listen to Kenny G on your iPad.
Yep.
No, so good non-pro to decent pro. I actually think that the non-pro to pro is really like there's some non-decent pro players we know. That's more of like a market thing. Like if you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of good players, you could become pro not really being that decent.
It's also your comfort level with being, not having a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Because anybody can just be like, I'm going pro.
Yeah.
And try to make a go of it.
It's so different than like basketball. Could you imagine? I'm just like, yeah, I'm going pro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a little harder to be able for me to monetize my basketball skills, even though I feel like there's some pianists out here that are pros that are about as good at basketball as piano as I am at basketball.
Agreed.
So maybe it's a little more competitive. But the thing about it is, I think professional, doesn't that just mean that you are being paid to do what you do? I think a part of it is like how seriously you treat it. Of course, we're always trying to get better, but you don't turn a corner one day and become pro level. But I think as soon as you put on the hat of a professional and say, look, I'm going to really treat this like a professional,
like a
whether
job.
I'm being like a job, and not like this is a job, but like, wow, I'm going to really take pride in this and try to fulfill my promise with this. Then I think that you can make that turn pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of little things you can do under that, but I think that's a great tent post for that. I mean, you have to start with a regular practice routine and practice things that you're not good at. Those are two huge things that can get you to, because what I'm guessing Paolo means is how do I get good, and all of those things. But really, it's how serious are you willing to treat it?
Serious.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Is serious. It's not the level. If you're doing the things that we talk about in practice routines and listening and all those great things, you're gonna continually get better. I mean, continually. There's the ups and peaks and valleys, but you're gonna improve as a player. But the idea of like a professional is a mindset. I think more than anything, it's not a level. So like we've both done things that from teaching to working in business to doing whatever, in which I think we've tried to become and have become professional. And part of that is just deciding I'm going to treat this like it's a job, even if it's a side hustle or whatever. Like a great Uber driver. They don't have to be a trained chauffeur, but if they treat it seriously instead of just like get in the back of my junky car, right?
Agreed.
Okay.
All right, next question is from Riddle Reader. That's a great name too. Looking for tips for playing over chromatic descending turnaround, e.g. C7, E flat 7, D minor 7, D flat 7 at the end of the form of a jazz blues in a way that doesn't sound contrived, forced, That's Ed. Thanks for the question, Ed. And
Yeah.
that's a good question. That could be a challenging turnaround if you're not sure what to do.
Yeah, I mean, without a time today to go on a deep dive on this, I would say the number one thing you can do to not sound contrived in those kind of situations is to find phrases that stretch over the chords. So long, and they don't even necessarily have to be longer phrases, depending on how quickly you're going through. But the idea is a phrase that it does not, I mean, it's amazing how many, like when people get facility, like harmonic and melodic facility, and start to link those up and understand how these complicated chords, whatever, chords work, how much they start to feel like they have to fit into those. Because, well, now I know the chords, so I'm going to play something. I'm going to play a phrase over these chords.
All scale arpeggio.
And every note has to exactly match. And I always say a great example of that is Donnelly. Like if you know the chords to Donnelly and the melody does not precisely line up with what the chord. It stretches over and stuff. And so don't get boxed in. Do not be a boxy kind of player.
Don't be as dogmatic as Peter is with ice cream genres as you are with scales and chord changes.
Play over the bar lines is basically what it is.
I was going to say, I mean, if you're playing this cadence here, C7, E flat 7, D minor 7, D flat 7 at the end of a jazz blues, I'm going straight blues scale there every time, man. I'm laying it down. Yeah.
Lean into the blues scale and the chromatic. This might be a fun. Maybe we'll do an at the piano one for the premium.
That's a good idea.
That could be just because demonstrating these we'll get to it. But thank you for the question, Ed. Good stuff.
Now one from old buddy Joe Mascara.
What's up, Joe?
Joe,
Houston in the house.
That's right. Joe writes, I'm curious about the history
Gulf
of
Coast
OS locations.
Oil.
Wall with jazz photo art. Where can I get it?
Yeah.
And Brown Steinway. I think I know what Joe's talking about here. Cinder block current. Okay.
Wow, that's
Wall with album art and Brown Steinway. I think that is our old offices upstairs.
Yeah.
With the
no, but this is the photo art.
No. I think he's talking about what we
art.
have now by the ping pong area, which
Dan
is
Martin designed that.
Yeah, that's all custom, Joe.
That's
Dan,
custom.
Who's right now tuning in probably from somewhere on
Tel Aviv.
He's in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
I'm super envious.
Yeah.
Dan did all that. Basically, it was all his out of his brains.
Yep.
And that was we had a smaller office than what we have now, up on the third floor of the building we're in now, and that's Peter's piano that was in there, the Brown Steinway, for a couple of years.
That's in my house now.
It's in your house now, where
it's a
it
nice
should
little
be.
S, nice little Steinway S.
And then the cinder block, I'm thinking that's CIC, the big room.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Fun fact on that, you know what that room is now? It doesn't look like that. That was a cool room.
That was a really
That was
cool
the
room.
original when we became Open Studio.
Yeah.
Some lent space from great kind of startup community here called CIC.
The incubator.
But now it is Microsoft offices, and they've sectioned it off, and there's walls. They ruined that whole space. It was just an unfinished space that was going to be a restaurant.
It was a raw space for a couple of years, and they graciously let us have. I mean, we were there for months and months and months.
Almost, I want to say 6 or 9 months.
Our offices weren't there. Our offices were in a 5x5 coffin.
We paid for the office, but we got this huge space.
But the best part about that space wasn't even the space.
No,
it was the piano.
The piano. We had a beautiful Steinway 9-foot that we had a chance to buy for Open Studio. We didn't have any money was the problem. But that's a nice piano. That's still lurking around St. Louis.
And that is a nice D. Like there's all Steinway Ds are really, really great, but that was particularly good.
That was a lot of fun. And we did, if you see like rhythm section fundamentals, that was filmed in there.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff. Good open sound in there.
Totally. Okay, next
good
question.
Eye, Joe.
Yeah, good eye, Joe.
Yeah. From Ian.
Yep.
Ian Dodds. One of my favorite names. My first son is named Ian. I don't know if you knew this. That's the Scottish form of the word John, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, you don't seem interested.
That's
fine.
I'm really not.
Okay. You want to read this one?
Yeah. Wondered about the type and quality of pianos Monk and Wynton Kelly played in the Black Hawk live in San Francisco, Minton's back in the day. Surely they weren't all well-prepped Steinways.
No. I'm thinking almost none of them. Although I have to remember, like the Black Hawk, those records, I'm thinking, I guess he's talking about like the Miles Davis live at the Black Hawk Friday and Saturday night. I remember the piano sounding pretty good there. Although these guys are like notorious for making bad pianos sound good.
But also, I think they might have. This is going to be a difficult conversation, but I think our piano culture has certainly shifted since that time.
Yes.
In that, they didn't really have music in a venue or a restaurant unless it was live music, and there was a whole industry and a whole profession of professional piano tuners that has now been greatly shrunk. I mean, that was like a legit profession you could go in, a trade that you can go in.
Right.
And I think it was just considered more part of. I've heard it was considered just more part of it that you had a piano.
Yep.
And then that it was kept up in the same way that if you have a venue and you have a sound system, you don't have like a subwoofer that's been cracked or whatever, and you just let it go, right? So I'm wondering if there wasn't more care taken back in the day.
Yeah, it could be, because it's always like what a balance is, especially depending on the age of the instrument, between just the quality of the instrument versus the upkeep of it. And like now, there's great sound piano technicians all around the world. There just certainly is less, but there's what I always hear from them is like they don't have the time with these instruments. They're like, they can only afford to have us tune. They're like, I'm always hearing technicians saying, oh man, if I could only have like 8 hours to pull the action out and really work on this thing, I could really do something with it. So yeah, if that was being done more, in general, that would certainly help, because a piano, you can't turn a piano into something that it's not, but I think it's more common now. You can feel it to play on instruments where you're like, whew. I mean, we did some stuff recently where like such an amazing instrument, but it's just so many little adjustments would be great. But this is also a reminder. I kind of took this also to mean like, let's stop complaining so much. It's like, because Monk, especially, I'm trying to think, Wynton Kelly doesn't pop into my mind, but Monk, there's several recordings where you can just tell the piano was crap. Yeah. And he makes it sound so good. Like he just works through it in a way. Yeah. I mean, the piano still sounds as it is, but you can just feel it. He's not being deterred. Yeah. So it's like, I always take that as a thing. It's like, well, if Monk tolerated this, I'm not going to get so uppity about a piano and be like, I can't play this or whatever.
All right, let's do, we have time for probably 2 more questions, I'm thinking. So let's go right into a question from Charles. Charles asks, okay, so I'm a horn player and I've signed up for one course. Would the premium membership benefit me too, or is it pretty much geared toward piano players? I think Charles means You'll Hear It Premium.
Right, You'll Hear Premium.
Which You'll Hear Premium, there, full disclosure, Charles, there will be some piano-specific things because we have so many pianists here. But there will also be a lot of just general improvisation, not to mention the archives and all the other stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah, and I think that, the all-access pass is the way to go if you want to cover because it's got all instruments. Still a lot of piano, but a lot of other things.
I mean, considering that it's like, for the You'll Hear It Premium, it's not that much more per month for the All Access Pass. Right. And it's like everything we've ever done. It's a great value.
Yeah. And you can always, we'll always switch you around as needed. We're very flexible.
For sure. Let us know, Charles.
Yeah. We'll do anything.
All right. Last question.
Okay. Thelonious Chunk. You cracked me out. Did you say that?
No, that's the ice cream genre. That's good.
No.
All right, last question is from Saad. And Saad asks, Peter, can you name any must-study jazz books, especially for an advanced beginner? I'm not sure what advanced beginner means, but maybe he means intermediate.
Okay.
I have an idea on this.
A book?
Well, it's close to home.
Oh, would that be Elements of Jazz Piano?
We
have a workbook.
Check out Elements of Jazz Piano. Rachel, could you link to Elements of Jazz Piano here in the chat?
Could you bring us a copy of that to show? Would that be possible?
Yeah.
Are we getting too live?
So, Saad, we've made this intermediate jazz piano course that is geared towards people who want to get from like beginner into like being able to play some gigs and play with other people. And it's been really, really popular because of how structured it is, and there's play-alongs and there's practice routines, and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I would recommend Elements of Jazz Piano. We'll link here in the chat. There's the book that accompanies.
This is a great workbook too. I mean, the videos and everything, even this on its own will take you far. And I think a fun thing about this course is I looked at it recently as we were moving some things over, and I realized and we label it intermediate, and it is, but I was like, man, there's stuff in here that I would really, at my level, would value from practicing at this point. There's a lot of flexibility in there. So it's not, it's doable by almost anyone, but there's a lot of things in here that we talked about that are really valuable for people at every level. So I think that would be a good one. I agree.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for the Q&A. This has been super, super fun to do this live. We're going to do another one of these. This is really successful.
We boxed ourselves in, man. We're too good at everything. We have to keep doing it.
It's just
so self-aware.
There's something about it that feels like very comfortable.
Well, I love that it's like today, but it's also next week. Like we're covering two different things.
We're in the future, we're in the past, we're in the present.
Next week we can just take off because we've already done our work, buddy. And until then,
you'll hear it.
Premium. Normale. So we want to thank you guys for being here. And before Adam leaves here, because I know he's nervous about going to his gig, I just want to make him even more nervous by keeping him here. You guys want to ask him anything or anything? Can we extend this anymore? No, he's good. No, but we just want to say thank you guys for being here. You'll Hear It Premium will be up until midnight tonight. Join there at that 50% discount. Go to you'llhearit.com. That's the only way to get it there. But you can join whenever. let's see. We did the giveaways. That was good.
Thanks for all the great questions too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here, man. And thank you for this
Great to hang
community.
with you.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing, we got some exciting stuff coming up in the fall and whatever, but we'll keep doing the lives.
We
for
got a
sure.
lot of clever, funny folks out here.
We do. We're going to have to up our game. We're going to go work on that.
Yeah.
Until then.
You'll hear it. Oh, good. Good. That's